The scripture Mahanirvana Tantra is brought to you by Not a Prophet org, the place on the internet to find spiritual guidance powered by artificial intelligence. Chapter 6, Placing of the Shri-patra, Homa, formation of the chakra, and other rites. Devi said, "As thou hast kindness for me, pray tell me, O Lord, more particularly about the pancha-tattvas and the other observances of which thou hast spoken." Sadashiva said, "There are 3 kinds of wine which are excellent, namely, that which is made from molasses, rice, or the Madhuka flower. There are also various other kinds made from the juice of the palmyra and date tree, and known by various names according to their substance and place of production. They are all declared to be equally appropriate in the worship of the devata, howsoever it may have been produced, and by whomsoever it is brought. The wine, when purified, gives to the worshipper all siddhi. There are no distinctions of caste in the taking of wine. So sanctified meat, again, is of 3 kinds, that of animals of the waters, of the earth, and of the sky. From wheresoever it may be brought, and by whomsoever it may have been killed, it gives, without doubt, pleasure to the Devis. Let the desire of the disciple determine what should be offered to the Devis, whatsoever he himself likes. The offering of that conduces to his well-being. Only male animals should be decapitated in sacrifice. It is the command of Shambh, who that female animals should not be slain. There are 3 superior kinds of fish, namely, Shala, Pathina, and Rohita. Those which are without bones are of middle quality, whilst those which are full of bones are of inferior quality. The latter may, however, if well fried, be offered to the Devi. There are also 3 kinds of parched food, superior, middle, and inferior. The excellent and pleasing kind is that made from Shali rice, white as a moonbeam, or from barley or wheat, and which has been fried in clarified butter. The middling variety is made of fried paddy. Other kinds of fried grain are inferior. Meat, fish, and parched food, fruits and roots, or anything else offered to the devata along with wine, are called shud, I.O. Devi. The offering of wine without shudai, as also puja and tarpana without shudai, become fruitless, and the devata is not propitiated. The drinking of wine without shud is like the swallowing of poison. The disciple is ever ailing, and lives for a short time, and dies, O great Devi. When the weakness of the Kali age becomes great, one's own Shakti or wife should alone be known as the 5th tattva. This is devoid of all defects, O beloved of my life. In this, the last tattva, I have spoken of Svayambhu and other kinds of flour. As substitutes for them, however, I enjoin red sandal paste. Neither the tattvas, nor flowers, leaves, and fruits should be offered to the Mahadvi unless purified. The man who offers them without purification goes to hell. The Shri-patra should be placed in the company of one's own virtuous Shakti. She should be sprinkled with the purified wine or water from the common offering. The mantra for the sprinkling of the Shakti is mantra Aing, Kling, Saw. Salutation to Tripura. Purify this Shakti, make her my Shakti. Svaha. If she who is to be Shakti is not already initiated, then the Maya Vija should be whispered into her ear, and other Shaktis who are present should be worshipped and not enjoyed. The worshipper should then, in the space between himself and the yantra, draw a triangle with the Maya Vija in its center, and outside the triangle, and in the order here stated, a circle, a hexagon, and a square. The excellent disciple should then worship in the 4 corners of the square the Pithas, Purna-shaila, Adhyana, Jalandhara, and Kamarupa, with the mantras formed of their respective names, preceded by Vijas formed by the first letter of their respective names, and followed by Nama. Then the 6 parts of the body should be worshipped in the 6 corners of the hexagon. Then worship the triangle with the Mula mantra, and then the Shakti of the receptacle with the Maya Vija and Nama. Wash the receptacle with the mantra Nama, and then place it, as in the case of the jar, on the mandala, and worship in it the 10 parts of Vani with the first letters of their respective names as Vijas. These parts, which are 10 in number, viz. Dumra, Archai, Javalini, Sukshma, Javalini, Vishvilingini, Sushri, Surupa, Kapila, Havya, Kavya, Vaha should be uttered in the dative singular, and followed by the mantra Nama, then worship the region of Vani in the Adhara, or receptacle with the following mantra. Mang. Salutation to the region of Vani with his 10 qualities, then, taking the vessel of offering and purifying it with the mantra Fat. Place it on the receptacle, and, having so placed it, worship therein the 12 parts of the sun with the Vijas, commencing with Kalbata Thad. These 12 parts are Tapini, Dumra, Marichi, Javalini, Rachai, Sadhamra, Bogada, Vishva, Badhini, Darini, Keshama. After this, worship the region of sun in the vessel of offering with the following mantra. Aing. Salutation to the circle of sun with his 12 parts. Then the worshipper should fill the cup of offering 3/4 full with wine taken from the jar, uttering the matrika Vijas in the reverse order, filling the rest of the cup with water taken from the special offering. Let him worship with a well-controlled mind the 16 digits of the moon, saying as Vijas each of the 16 vowels before each of the 16 digits spoken in dative singular, followed by the mantra Nama. The 16 desire-granting digits of moon are Amrita, Pranada, Pusha, Tushti, Pushti, Rati, Driti, Shashini, Chandrika, Kanti, Jayatsna, Skry, Preeti, Angada, Purna, and Purnamrita. As in the case of the other devas mentioned, the disciple should then worship the region of the moon with the following mantra. Aing. Salutation to the region of moon with its 16 digits. Durva grass, sun, dried rice, red flowers, varvara, leaf, and the aparajita flower should be thrown into the vessel with the mantra 8 shring, and the sacred waters should be invoked into it then. Covering the wine and the vessel of offering with the Avaganthana mudra, and uttering the armor Vija, protect it with the weapon Vija, and converting it into ambrosia with the Dinu mudra, cover it with the Matsya mudra, making japa of the Mula mantra 10 times. The Ishtadevata should be invoked and worshipped with flowers offered in the joined palms. Then charge the wine with the following 5 mantras, beginning with Akanda. Mantras, O Kilarupini. Infuse into the essence of this excellent wine, which produces full and unbroken bliss, its thrill of joy, thou who art like the nectar which is in Ananga, and art the embodiment of pure knowledge. Place into this liquid the ambrosia of Brahmananda, O thou, who art the very image of that. Do thou unite this arghya with the image or self of that, and having become the Kilamrita, blossom in me, bring into this sacred vessel, which is full of wine, essence of ambrosia produced from essence of all that is in this world, and containing all kinds of taste. May this cup of self, which is filled with the nectar of self, Lord, be sacrificed in the fire of the Supreme Self. Having thus consecrated the wine with the mantra, think of the union in it of Sadashiva and Bhagavati, and wave lights and burning incense sticks before it. This is the consecration of the Shri-patra in Kaulika worship. Without such purification, the disciple is guilty of sin, and the worship is fruitless. The wise one should then, according to the rules prescribed for the placing of the common offering, place between the jar and the Shri-patra the cups of the Guru, the cup of enjoyment, the cup of the Shakti, the cups of the yoginis, of the Vira, and of sacrifice, and those for the washing of the feet and the rinsing of the mouth respectively, making 9 cups in all. Then, filling the cups 3/4 full of wine from the jar, a morsel of shaddai of the size of a pea should be placed in each of them. Then, holding the cup between the thumb and the 4th finger of the left hand, taking the morsel of shaddai in the right hand, making the tattva mudra, tarpana should be done. This is the practice which has been enjoined, taking an excellent drop of wine from the Shri-patra and a piece of shaddai. Tarpana should be made to the Deva Ananda-Bhairava and the Devi Ananda-Bhairavi. Then, with the wine in the cup of the Guru, offer oblations to the line of Gurus. In the first place to the worshipper's own Guru, seated together with his wife on the lotus of 1,000 petals, and then to the Parama Guru, the Parapara Guru, the Parameshti Guru successively. In offering oblations to the 4 Gurus, the Vagbhava Vija should first be pronounced, followed in each case by the names of each of the 4 Gurus. Then, with wine from the cup of enjoyment, worshipper should, in the lotus of his heart, offer oblations to the Adya Kalika. In this oblation her own Vija should precede, and Svaha should follow her name. This should be done thrice next, with wine taken from the cup of the Shakti, oblation should be similarly offered to the devata of the parts of her body and their avarana devatas, then, with the wine. In the cup of the yogini, oblation should be offered to the Adya Kalika, carrying all her weapons and with all her followers. Then should follow the sacrifice to the Madhukas. The wise worshipper should draw on his left an ordinary rectangular figure, and after worshipping it, place therein food with wine, meat, and other things with the vijas of Vak, Maya, Kamala, and with the mantra, Vang, salutation to Madhuka. He should be worshipped in the east of the rectangle, and then sacrifice should be offered to him then, with the mantra. Yang to the yogin is Svaha. Sacrifice should be made to the yogin, is on the south, and then to Kesh. Yet, Drapala on the west of the rectangle, with the mantra. To Kesh yet, Drapala Nama, preceded by the letter Kesha, to which in succession the 6 long vowels are added with the Vindu following this. Sacrifice should be made to Gana, Patti on the north, adding to Ga the 6 long vowels, in succession with the Vindu thereon, followed by the name of Gainsha in the dative singular, and ending with Svaha. Lastly, sacrifice should be made inside the rectangle to all Buddhas, according to proper form uttering. H Shring Shring Sarvavigna, Kridbhya, add Sarvabhudabhya, and then Hung Fat Svaha. This is how the mantra is formed. Then a sacrifice to Shiva should be made with the following mantra. Aing, O Dev, O Shiva, O Exalted One, Thou art the image of the final conflagration at the dissolution of things. Deign to accept this sacrifice, and to reveal clearly to me the good and evil which is my destiny. To Shiva I bow. This is the Mula mantra in the worship of Shiva. Having said this, perform the sacrifice, saying, This is thy Vali, to Shiva Nama, O Holy One. I have now described to thee the mode of formation of the circle of worship, and the placing of the cup, and other rites. Then, making with the 2 hands the Kachcha mudra, let the worshipper take up with his hands a beautiful fior, scented with sandal, fragrant aloes, and musk, and carrying it to the lotus of his heart, let him meditate therein in the lotus upon the most supreme Adya. Then let him lead the Devi along the Sushumna Nadi, which is the highway of Brahman, to the great lotus of 1,000 petals, and there make her joyful. Then, bringing her through his nostrils, let him place her on the flower, her presence being communicated, as it were, by one light to another, and place the flower on the yantra, and with folded hands pray with all devotion to his Ishtadevata thus mantra. O Queen of the Devas, thou who art easily attained by devotion, remain here, I pray thee, with all thy following, the while I worship thee. Then, uttering the Vija Kring, say the following mantra. O Adya Kalika, come here with all thy following, come here, and then say, stay here, and then say, place thyself here, and then say, be thou detained here. Accept my worship. Having thus invoked the Devi into the yantra, the vital airs of the Devi should be infused therein by the following Pratishta mantra. Aing, Hring, Krong, Shring, Svaha. May the 5 vital airs of this Devata be here. Aing, Hring, Krong, Shring, Svaha. Her jiva is here placed. Aing, Hring, Krong, Shring, Svaha. All senses. Aing, Hring, Krong, Shring, Svaha. Speech, mind, sight, smell, hearing, touch, and the vital airs of the Adyakali Devata. May they come here and stay happily here forever. Svaha, having recited the above 3 times, and having in due form placed the vital airs of the Devi in the yantra with the Lelihina mudra, with folded palms, he, the worshipper, should say mantra. O Adya Kali, haste thou had a good journey, haste thou had a good journey. O Parameshvari, mayest thou be seated on this seat. Then, whilst repeating the primary mantra, sprinkle thrice the water of special oblation over the Devi, and then make nyasa of the Devi with the 6 parts of her body. This ceremony is called Sekalikarama or Sekalakriti. Then worship the Devi with all the 16 offerings. These are water for washing the feet, the water for the offering, water for rinsing the mouth and for her bath, garments, jewels, perfume, flowers, incense sticks, lights, food, water for washing the mouth, nectar, pan, water of oblation, and obeisance. In worship, these 16 offerings are needed, uttering the Adya Vija, and then saying, this water is for washing the feet of the Adya. To the Devata Nama, offer the water at the feet of the Devi. Similarly with the word Svaha in place of Nama, The offering should be placed at the head of the Devi, then the wise worshipper with Svadha should offer the water for rinsing the mouth to the mouth of the Devi, and then the worshipper should offer to the lotus, mouth of the Devi Madhu Parka with the mantra Svadha. He should then offer water to rinse the mouth a second time with the mantra Vang Svadha, then the worshipper saying mantra Atring Shring Kring Parameshvari Svaha. I offer this water for bathing, this apparel, these jewels to the supreme Devi, the primordial Kalika. Svaha, make an offer of them to all parts of the body of the Devi, then the worshipper should, with the same mantra, but ending with Nama, offer scent with his middle and third finger to the heart, lotus of the Devi, and with the same mantra, but ending with Vashat, he should similarly offer to her flowers, having placed burning incense and lighted lamp in front of Devi, and sprinkling them with water. They should be given away with the mantra Atring Shring Kring Parameshvari Svaha. This incense stick and light I humbly offer to Adya Kalika, Svaha, after worship of the bell with the mantra, O Mother, who produces the sound which proclaims triumph to thee, Svaha, he should ring it with his left hand, and, taking up the incense stick with his right hand, he should wave it up to the nostrils of the Devi. Then, placing the incense stick on her left, he should raise and wave the light 10 times up to, and before the eyes of the Devi. Then, taking the cup and the Shaddai in his 2 hands, the worshipper should, whilst uttering the Mula mantra, offer them to the center of the yantra mantra. O thou who haste brought to an end a crore of kalpas, take this excellent wine, as also the Shaddai, and grant to me endless liberation. Then, drawing a figure in front of the yantra, according to the rules of ordinary worship, place the plate with food thereon, sprinkle the food with the mantra fat, and veil it with the avaganthana, mudra, and the mantra hung, and then again protect it by the mantra fat saying Vang, and exhibiting the Denu mudra over it, make it into the food of immortality. Then, after recitation of the Mula mantra 7 times, it should be offered to the Devi with water taken from the vessel of offering. The worshipper, after reciting the Mula mantra, should say, This cooked food with all other necessaries I offer to the Adya Kali, my Ishtadevi. He should then say, O Shiva, partake of this offering. Then he should make the Devi eat the offering by means of the 5 mudras called prana, apana, samana, vayana, and udana. Next, form with the left hand the naiva yamudra, which is like a full-blown lotus. Then, whilst reciting the Mula mantra, give away the jar with wine to the Devi for her to drink. After that, offer again water for rinsing the mouth, and following that a 3-fold oblation should be made to the Devi with wine from the cup of the Shri. Atra, then, reciting the Mula mantra, let the worshipper offer 5 handfuls of flowers to the head, heart, Muladhara lotus, the feet, and all parts of the body of the Devi, and thereafter with folded palms he should pray to his Ishtadevata thus, mantra, O Ishtadevata, I am now worshipping the Devatas who surround thee. Nama, the 6 parts of the body of the Devi, should then be worshipped at the 4 corners of the yantra, and in front and behind it in their order. And then the line of gurus should be worshipped then with scent and flowers. Worship the 4 kilogurus, namely, Guru, Para, Maguru, Parapara Guru, Parameshti. Guru then, with the wine and the cup of the Guru, make 3 tarpanas each, and on the lotus of 8 petals worship the 8 mother Nayakas, namely, Mangala, Vijaya, Bhadra, Jayanti, Aparajita, Nandini, Narasinghi, and Kamari, and on the tips of the petals worship the 8 Bhairavas as Satanga, Ruru, Shanda, Krudhan, Mata, Bayankara, Kapali, Bishana, and Sanghara. Indra and the other Palas should be worshipped in the Pura, and their weapons outside the Pura, and then tarpana should be made to them after worshipping the Devi with all the offerings. Sacrifice should be carefully made to her, the 10 approved beasts, which may be sacrificed are deer, goat, sheep, buffalo, hog, porcupine, hare, iguana, and rhinoceros, but other beasts may also be sacrificed. If the worshipper so desires, the worshipper versed in the rules of sacrifice should select a beast with good signs, and placing it before the Devi, should sprinkle it with the water from the Vishesharghya, and by the Denu mudra should make it into nectar. Let him then worship the goat, sheep, or whatever other animal is being sacrificed with the mantra, Nama to the goat, which is a beast, and with perfumes, flowers, vermilion, food, and water. Then he should whisper into the ears of the beast the Gayatri mantra, which severs the bond of its life as a beast, the Pashu-Gayatri, which liberates a beast from its life of a beast, is as follows. After the word Pashu-Pashaya, say Vidma, then after the word Vishvakarmane, say Damahi, and then Tanojiva Prachadehat. Mantra, let us bring to mind the bonds of the life of a beast. Let us meditate upon the creator of the universe. May he liberate us from out of this life of a beast. Then, taking the sacrificial knife, the excellent worshipper should worship it with the Vija, hung, and worship Sarasvati and Brahma at its end, Lakshmi and Narayana at its middle, and Uma and Maheshvara at the handle. Then the sacrificial knife should be worshipped with the mantra Nama to the sacrificial knife, infused with the presence of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and their Shaktis. Then, dedicating it with the great word, he should with folded hands say, May this dedication to thee be according to the ordained rites. Having thus offered the beast to the Devi, it should be placed on the ground. The worshipper, then, with mind intent upon the Devi, should sever the head of the beast with one sharp stroke. This may be done either by the worshipper himself or by his brother, brother's son, a friend or a kinsman, but never by one who is an enemy. The blood, when yet warm, should be offered to the Vatukas. Then the head with a light on it should be offered to the Devi with the following mantra. This head with the light upon it I offer to the Devi with obeisance. This is the sacrificial rite of the Kaulikas. In Kala worship, if it be not observed, the Devata is never pleased. After this Homa should be performed. Listen, O beloved one, to the rules which relate to it. The worshipper should, with sand, make on his right a square, each side of which is 1 cubit. Let him then, while reciting the Mula mantra, gaze at it, stroke it with a wisp of kasha grass, uttering the weapon, Vija, and then sprinkle it with water to the accompaniment of the same Vija. Then, veiling it with the Kirchha, Vija, he should say, Obeisance to the est hand Dilla of the Devi, and with this mantra worship the square. Then, inside the square 3 lines should be drawn from east to west, and 3 lines from south to north, of the length of a pracha. When this has been done, the following devatas, whose names are hereinafter given, should be worshipped over these lines. Over the lines from west to east, worship Mukunda, Isha, and Purandara. Over the lines from south to north, Brahma, Vivasvata, and in do then a triangle should be drawn within the square, and within the triangle the Vija H. Saw should be written. Outside the triangle draw a hexagon, outside this a surd, and outside the circle a lotus with 8 petals, and outside this a square bu, pura, with 4 entrances. So should the wise one draw the excellent yantra, having worshipped with the Mula mantra, and with offerings of handfuls of flowers. The space thus marked off and washed, the articles for the Homa sacrifice with the pranava, the intelligent one, should, after first uttering the Maya Vija, worship in the pericarp of the lotus, Adhara Shakti and others. Either individually or collectively, piety, knowledge, dispassion, and dominion should be worshipped in the Agni, Ishana, Vayu, and Narita, corners of the yantra, respectively, and the negation of the qualities in the east, north, west, and south, respectively. And in the center, Ananta and Padma. Then let him worship sun with his 12 parts, and moon with her 16 digits, and on the filament commencing from the east, worship Pita, and then Asachveta, Aruna, Krishna, Dumra, Tibra, Sphulangini, Rakaira, in their order, and in the center Jaivalini in all. Worship Pranava should commence the mantra, and Nama should end it. The seat of fire should be worshipped with the mantra, Rang, salutation to the seat of fire. Then the mantrin should meditate upon the Devi Sarasvati after she is bathed, with eyes like the blue lotus on the seat of fire in the embrace of Vajeshvara, and worship in the seat of fire with the Maya Vija. Then let him bring fire in the manner prescribed, and gaze intently on it, and whilst repeating the Mula mantra, invoke Vani into it with the mantra. Then the seat of fire should be worshipped in the yantra with the mantra, Aung salutation to the Yoga Pitha of fire, and on the 4 sides, beginning on the east and ending on the south, Valma, Jayeshtha, Rodri, Ambika, should be worshipped in the order given. Then the marked off space should be worshipped with the mantra, salutation to the est, hand Dilla of the revered Devata, the primeval Kalika, and then within this place the worshipper should meditate upon the Devi Vajeshvari under the form of the Mula Devata, after lighting the fire with the Vijra Rang and reciting the Mula mantra, and then the mantra, hung fat to the eaters of raw flesh, Svaha. Share of the raw meat eaters, Rakshasas, should be put aside. Gaze at the fire, saying the weapon, mantra, and surround it with the veil mudra, uttering the Vija hung make the fire into nectar with Dinimudra. Take some fire in both palms and wave it thrice in a circle over the est hand, Dila from right to left. Then with both knees on the ground and meditating on fire as the male seed of Shiva, the worshipper should place it into that portion of the Yoni Yantra which is nearest him. Then, first, worship the image of fire with the mantra, Atring, salutation to the image of fire, and after that, the spirit of fire with the mantra, Rang, to the spirit of fire Nama. The mantrin will then think in his mind of the awakened form of Vani, and kindle the fire with the following mantra, Aing. Yellow spirit of fire, which knows all, destroy, destroy, burn, burn, ripen, ripen command, Svaha. This is the mantra for kindling fire. After this, with folded hands, fire should again be adored. Mantra, I adore the kindled fire of the color of gold, free from impurity, burning, author of the Veda, the devourer of oblations, which faces every quarter after adoration of fire in this manner. Cover the mark, tough space with kasha grass, and then the worshipper, giving fire the name of his own, Ishtadevata, should worship him mantra, Aing, O red dyed one, Vaishvanara, origin of the Veda. Come here, come here, help me to accomplish all my works, Svaha. Then the 7 tongues of fire, Hiranya and others, should be worshipped. The worshipper should next adore the 6 limbs of Vani, uttering the word of 1,000 rays in the dative singular, and at the end, obeisance to the heart. Then the wise one should worship the forms of Vani, the 8 forms Jata, Veda, and others, and then the 8 Shaktis, namely, Brahmi and others, the 8 Nidhais, namely, Padma and others, and the 10 Dik, Palas, namely, Indra and others, after worshipping the thunderbolt and other weapons. Sacrificer should take 2 blades of kasha grass of the length of the space between his stretch, tout thumb and forefinger, and place them lengthwise in the ghee. He should meditate on the Nadi Ida in the left part of the ghee, and on the Nadi Pingala in the right portion, and on the Nadi Sushumna in the center, and with a well-controlled mind take ghee from the right side, and offer it to the right eye of Vani with the following mantra, Aing to Agni Svaha. Then, taking ghee from the left side, offer it to the left eye of Vani with the mantra, Aing to Soma Svaha. Then, taking ghee from middle portion, offer it to the forehead of Vani with the mantra, Aing to Agni and Soma Svaha. Then, saying Nama, take the ghee again from the right side, say first the pranava, and then mantra, Agni the Asvishti Krit Svaha. With this mantra he should offer oblation to the mouth of Vani. Then, uttering the Viriti with the pranava at the commencement, and Svaha at the end, the Homa sacrifice should be performed. Then he should offer oblations thrice with the mantra, Am, O Vaishvanara, origin of the Veda, come hither, O red dyed one, and fulfill all my works. Then, invoking the Ishtadevata with the proper mantra into the fire, let him worship her and the Pithadevata. 25 oblations should then be offered, uttering the Mula mantra with Svoha at the end, and contemplating on the union or identity of his own soul with Vani and the Devi. 11 oblations should also be offered with the Mula mantra to the Angadevatas, concluding with Svoha. Then, with a mixture of ghee, tila seed, honey, or with flowers and bale leaves, or with other prescribed articles, oblation should be made for the attainment of one's desire. This oblation should be made not less than 8 times, and with every attention and care. Then, reciting the primary mantra ending with Svaha, complete oblation should be made with a full ladle with fruits and leaves. Worshipper, with the Sangharam mudra, transferring the Devi from the fire to the lotus of his heart, should then say, Pardon me, and dismiss him who feeds on oblations. Then, distributing presents, Mantran should consider that the Homa has been duly performed. Then the excellent worshipper should place between the eyebrows what is left over of the oblations. This is the ordinance relating to Homa in all forms of Agama worship. After performance of Homa, the worshipper should proceed to do japa now. Listen, O Devi, to the instructions which relate to japa by which the Vidya is pleased. During japa, the Devata, the Guru, and the mantra should be considered as one. The letters of the mantra are the Devata, and the Devata is in the form of the Guru, to him who worships them as one, and same, his is the greatest success. The worshipper should then meditate upon his Guru as being in his head, the Devi in his heart, the Mula mantra in the form of Tejas on his tongue, and himself at united with the glory of all 3. Then, adding the Tara to the beginning and the end of the Mula mantra, it should be made japa of 7 times, and then it should be recapitulated with the Matrika Vija at its beginning and end. The wise worshipper should make japa of the Maya Vija over his head 10 times, and of the pranava 10 times over his mouth, and of the Maya Vija again 7 times in lotus of his heart, and then perform pranayama. Then, taking a rosary of coral, etc., let him worship it thus. Mantra: O Rosary, O Rosary, O Great Rosary, thou art the image of all Shaktis, thou art the repository of the fourfold blessings. Do thou therefore be the giver to me of all success. Having thus worshipped the mala, and also made tarpana to it thrice with wine taken from the Shri-patra, accompanied by recitation of the Mula mantra, the worshipper should, with well-controlled mind, make japa 1008, or at least 108 times. Then, doing pranayama, he should offer on the left lotus hand of the Devi the fruit of his japa, whose form is tejas, together with water and flowers from the Shri-patra, and bowing down his head to the ground, say the following mantra: O great Queen, thou who protectest that which is most secret, deign to accept this my recitation. May by thy grace success attend my effort. After this, let him with folded hands recite the hymn and the protective mantra. Then the sadhaka should, with the special oblation in his hand, going round the Devi, keeping her to his right, say the following and dedicate his own self by offering Vilamarghya mantra: whatsoever ere this I in the possession of life, intelligence, body, or in action, awake, in dream or dreamless sleep have done, whether by word or deed, by my hands, feet, belly, or organ of generation, whatsoever I have remembered or spoken of all that I make an offering to Brahman, I and all that is mine I lay at the lotus feet of the Adya Kalika. I make the sacrifice of myself. Aung Tat sat then, with folded hands, let him supplicate his Ishtadevata, and reciting the Maya mantra, say, mantra: O primordial Kalika, I have worshipped thee with all my powers and devotion. And then saying, forgive me, let him bid the Devi go. Let him with his hands formed into Sanghara Mudra take up a flower, smell it, and place it on his heart. A triangular figure well and clearly made should next be drawn in the northeast corner, and there he should worship the Devi Nirmalya Vasini with the mantra, Atring salutation to the Devi Nirmalya Vasini. Then, distributing Naivedya to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and all the other devas, the worshipper should partake of it. Then, placing his Shakti on a separate seat to his left or on the same seat with himself, he should make a pleasing drink in the cup. The cup should be so formed as to hold not more than 5, and not less than 3 tolas of wine, and may be of either gold or silver or crystal, or made of the shell of a cocoa nut. It should be kept on a support on the right side of the plate containing the prepared food. Then the wise one should serve the sacred food and wine either himself or by his brother's sons among the worshippers according to the order of their seniority. The purified wine should be served in the drinking cups, and the purified food in plates kept for that purpose. And then should food and drink be taken with such as are present at the time. First of all, some purified food should be eaten to make a bed, as it were, for wine which is to be drunk. Let the assembled worshippers then joyously take up each his own cup filled with excellent nectar. Then let him take up each his own cup and meditate upon the Kulakundalini, who is the chit, and who is spread from the Muladhara lotus to the tip of the tongue, and, uttering the Mula mantra, let each, after taking the other's permission, offer it as oblation to the mouth of the Kundali. When the Shakti is of the household, the smelling of the wine is the equivalent of drinking it. Worshippers who are householders may drink 5 cups only. Excessive drinking prevents the attainment of success. By Kula worshippers they may drink until the sight or the mind is not affected. To drink beyond that is bestial. How is it possible for a sinner who becomes a fool through drink, and who shows contempt for the sadhaka of Shakti, to say, I worship the Adya Kalika? As touch cannot affect food, etc., offered to Brahman, so there is no distinction of caste in food offered to thee as I have directed, so should eating and drinking be done. After partaking of food offered to thee, the hands should not be washed, but with a piece of cloth or a little water remove that which has adhered to the hands. Lastly, after placing a flower from the Nirmalya on his head, and wearing a tilaka mark made from the remnants of the oblation on the antrum between his eyebrows, the intelligent worshipper may roam the earth like a diva. End of the 6th joyful message, entitled Placing of the Shri-patra, Homa, Formation of the Chakra, and Other Rites.